Hello, my name is Mike Ignatoski, the creator of the BlueLynx hockey spreadsheet, the spreadsheet that uses Excel programming to help you conveniently manage your tabletop hockey league project, including the standings, the schedule, but most of all, the player and team stats for your entire league. BlueLynx was created to help you get more enjoyment out of your tabletop hockey projects by giving you more time to play the games and look over the stats instead of painstakingly calculating them and entering them into a spreadsheet. In this video, I want to cover how to handle a shootout using the BlueLynx spreadsheet. So let's see how it works. In this demonstration, I've got a game that I just completed, I'll say, regulation, and then I'm going to switch over to overtime. Is this game going overtime? Please confirm yes. And this actually is it used to be an option, but I think it's not an option anymore. Yeah, it'll always confirm whether you want to go to overtime or a shootout. Let me go back to my score sheet here. Okay, so now I'm in overtime. I'm going to say nothing happened in overtime, so I got nothing to record. So now I want to go to a shootout. So I go onto my score sheet, my scoreboard, and I click the shootout. Is this game going into a shootout? Please confirm. Yes. I should probably have a double confirmation there. So when it does a couple things. One is it adds these two stat columns to each one, which are shootout attempts and shootout. It says goals, but basically it stands for shootout attempts made. I probably need to correct that. So, at any rate, it also, over here to the right, opens up the shootout log. And I'm going to show you what over here on the left, there is this button, jump to shootout. And basically it just kind of shift your score sheet to the right to see your shootout log. Maybe it shifts it a little too far, but then over here in the shootout log, you can jump back to the score sheet. So I'm going to go to the shootout, and I'm just going to say each team here gets 3 shooters. And the shootout log starts like this. It's off. So I have to kind of confirm that I want it on. So if I hover on this, it'll say click the status cell to toggle it from on to off, or off to on. If I click this, so do you want it? It's just an extra, for the 4th time. Is this really, you want to activate the shootout log? This will clear the existing log and use the currently active goaltenders. If you want to use different goalies, click no and then change them and then reactivate it. Alright, so I'm going to say activate right now, no. I want to go over here and confirm, basically my active goalies are this Les Brinkley and Bernie Perron. And, likelihood you'll keep the same goalies, but I guess sometimes you don't have to. So anyway, over here, move this out of the way. I'm going to now turn this on. So I click here. Do I want to turn it on? Yes. And then it writes in these 2 goalies, like who are the Flyers facing, who are the Penguins facing. And then to proceed with your shootout, you click this add button under each team to add their skaters. So for the Flyer, let's say their first skater is going to be Bobby Clark. So I pick a player, and it writes their name in, and then it asks me, did they score on the attempt, yes or no? I'm going to say Bobby Clark missed it, so I'll say no. So now it shows it in this made column. It shows 0, and right now it's in a way 0, 0, but in a way it's 0 to nothing. Now the Penguins' turn, so I click add, just add a Penguins guy. Let's go with Brian Hextall. Let's say that, okay, Brian Hextall score? No. So now I got 0, 0. I add my next guy to the Flyers. This is going to be Bob Kelly. Okay. Did he score? No. Now, let's keep going. Let's go with Ron Schock, and let's say he scores finally. Did he score? Yes. Go with the Flyers. The third guy. Let's say, who do they got here? Gary Dornhofer. I always thought that was a pretty cool name. Let's pick Gary Dornhofer, and let's say he's going to tie it up. So the Penguins get one more. We're going to go with this guy, Dunk McCallum. I like putting a defenseman on here. Let's go with Andy Bathgate. I think he's pretty. And he's in the twilight of his career, I think. Anyway, he's going to score and win the game. Did he score? Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to say this is over. And the BlueLynx spreadsheet doesn't really know when a shootout's over. You can make your shootout rules whatever you want to. But if you click on this, I need to switch this. It'll say if the shootout complete. If so, click yes to change the shootout status to over and update the game scoreboard. Final shootout score cannot be a tie. So it'll look at this and say, if this is 1-1, it's going to say you can't do it. But I'm going to say it is done, and then it'll switch this to over. So now that the shootout's over, we can jump back to the score sheet. You can see now it has the Penguins winning the shootout and the whole game 1-0. And what we want to do is compute our end of game stats to include these shootout attempts. Maybe in a future version I'll have these update on the fly, but right now they don't. So I click the compute end of game stats. So you can see here it puts in Flyers had 3 shootout attempts and 1 attempt made, and Les Binkley had from a goalie, he had 3 out attempts and 1 was made on him. The Penguins had 3 attempts and 2 shots made, and that's the same. That's reflected in Bernie Perrant's stats here. So now to wrap it up, I would do the same thing as before. I would put in my time on ice. So depending on how long my overtime was in my game, I'll say here it was the 5 minutes. So I'll give these guys 65 minutes of time on ice. And in this particular setup, I'm not doing goalie. I don't think I was setting up to do goalie saves. Let me look at my options. Oh, I was checking goalie saves. Okay, so but put in here in this result, I want to put in for Perrant to say he started and it was an overtime or shootout loss. Similarly for Les Binkley, he started and got the win. Now, if you wanted to keep your stats differently and call these games ties, that's up to you. But typically for overtime, that's how they do it. So now I could put in, that Perrant had 27 saves and this guy had 36 saves. And now I'm going to hit this end of game. When I say compute end of game stats now, because I entered these saves, it's going to say, hey, do you want to overwrite these goalie save stats? And I'm going to say, no, don't, because I don't have any shots on goal up here. So I'll say no, don't overwrite them. So it didn't. One thing I forgot maybe I should have done was on this. I think each goalie does get a shutout. So let me add that on this. There, like that. Now I can do my save game results. Oh, I forgot my game-winning goal. I guess I have to give it to Andy Bathgate. Is there a game-winning goal on a shootout? I guess I'm not sure, but for right now I'm going to give it to this guy anyway, even if he doesn't deserve it. So just so I can move on with this. I'll have to figure that out. Okay, so now I'm going to save the stats, and that's the end of. This is just some nothing. Save the stats here, and I want to show you one more thing when this is done on the shootout. All right, successfully saved. Now I want to go to the schedule. I keep trying to. Let's put in a game note here that, yeah, Pens win a scoreless game with exciting shootout. Anyway, okay. But if I go to the schedule, this Penguins Flyers game, so here you can see where it put this result in. So Flyers 0, Penguins 1, and because it ended with a shootout, it puts this SO right here. Now back to the score sheet. Just a couple little notes. If somehow you make a mistake or mess something up here, you basically need to start over. And the way to do that would be, you have to click this, and it would ask if you want to reset the shootout log. If you do, it's going to clear it all out, and you should only really do it if you're restarting a shootout or if it was started by mistake. For example purposes, I'll just say, yeah, I want to do that, and it basically just clears this out and you can start over. It doesn't remove these stats yet, but when you recompute the game stats, it'll clear them out and only show the correct ones. So there's also this hide shootout log. If it really was an accident you never meant to get here, you can click this, and if it says if you do this, it will clear out the shootout log, set it to up, and hide the columns. So okay, yeah. This is just confirming it. And when it does it, it moves the active period back to the third. Maybe it should move to overtime, but either way, it kind of clears this all, kind of erases your entire shootout as if it didn't happen. So that won't be a typical case for you, but in general, that's just how the shootout works. I got maybe a few places to improve there, but I think the basic mechanics of it work if you're going to use a shootout with your BlueLynx spreadsheet. So that wraps it up. That's the shootout wrap. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. And like Red Green says, keep your stick on the ice.